Hello and welcome, Essex County College family. This is the Virtual Cafe powered by Student Life and Activities. Today's episode number 84, Women with Power. It's March. It's Women's History Month. We like to celebrate all of our amazing women at Essex in our lives. Today, we have some awesome leaders of clubs on campus right here at Essex. They happen to all be women. It's amazing. And we want to highlight all the amazing achievements that their clubs do and talk a little bit to them about what influences them, what drives them to lead their peers, to lead other students into victory. So without any further ado, let's start our roundtable discussion, our little panel chat, our big panel chat, however you want to call it, with some of our Essex club ladies. Okay, with us today, we have the president of the Student Government Association, Yolanda Brown. We have the president of the LGBTQ plus club, that is Ugonma, Chima. And we have the president of Phi Theta Kappa, our honor society on campus, Miss Angela. How are you all doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm doing all right.
All right, that's good. We'll get into it. All right, so PTK, SGA, LGBTQ plus, it's a lot of acronyms. So let's go around. I think that your screen looks like mine. It should be me in the top left, then Yolanda, then bottom left, Chi, bottom right, Angela, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go around clockwise. So let's do that. Let's go clockwise, back up to me. Ms. Brown, you're the president of Student Government Association? I know, right? That's crazy.
Yes, it most definitely is, especially when I did not plan on becoming the president of the Student Government Association. As you know, it was kind of thrust upon me, I should say. And since I've had taken over, I love it. And not only am I a woman who's president of SGA, our whole executive board is female, the secretary, the treasurer, as well as a parliamentarian. So it's very empowering to have the whole executive board be female.
Yeah, that blows all of us away. I remember me and Mr. Graham discussing that all of the executives on the student government board are all female. It's amazing. It really is. What do you think? What do you think the cause of that is?
I think the cause is because it seems like a lot of men really don't want to get maybe involved when they think about Student Government Association. They look at it as maybe boring, menial work, not going to give them a lot of excitement. It's maybe as maybe the engineering club or taekwondo or those types of clubs. I think maybe that's why. We do have some males that are general members, but as far as leading, I think that's maybe why it's not exciting enough for them. They don't think it is anyway, but it really is. Or like the gaming, the gaming club. Males are more they gravitate more those types of club than SGA. I think that's the reason why. Because the connotation that SGA gets as a government, which is doing like a lot of paperwork, you pushing pins. I think that's why that's my opinion. It might not be correct, but that's my just stuff why we're mostly female right now.
So you're saying all of our young Essex men are leaving the heavy lifting to the women. Okay. You ain't wrong. No, sounds about right. We got to try and motivate these young men to take some leadership.
Yes, we want them to come and take over SGA. We need them to come and take over SGA, as a matter of fact, because the executive board will be leaving. So we need some men, women, we need someone to step up and take over SGA, most definitely.
You need a few good women and men, definitely.
Yes.
All right, cool. Angela, president of PTK. Angela, I don't want to butcher your last name. Can you tell us your last name, please?
My last name is Anokye-Boateng.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, I don't know you as well as Yolanda. So my question to you is, how did you get to be PTK president? Were you
So
elected?
I was appointed, yes. I just became the PTK president this semester, beginning from the early parts of the semester. Our previous president was Monica. She had, okay, so she had indirectly been giving me training that I did not even know. I was an officer before, but I was the secretary of communications. So, I mean, I was more involved in the chapter activities and were related. So then she just handed me the baton early this semester. So I recently was appointed the president of PTK.
That's awesome, though. So you were already in an executive position in PTK.
Yes, I was a secretary of communications.
Okay. What was that position like, if you don't mind me asking?
So that position, it was actually enlightening because we were mostly online. So it was more of taking minutes of our meetings and both general and officer meetings and communication. I was the person in charge of communication between our chapter and the school, basically.
Oh, so that's super important. So you were responsible for all the communications for our chapter of PTK here, as far as
Yes.
communicating outwards. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, PTK is lucky to have you for sure. That's awesome.
I take it as a privilege.
Yeah. All right, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Chi-Chi, how do you say your first name?
My first name is Ugonma. You don't pronounce the N.
Silent N. Okay.
Yes.
Ugonma Chima. How many people in your life call you Ugonma?
Honestly, just mostly people from my dad's half of the family because I'm named after my paternal grandmother.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Now you're the president of LGBTQ plus club. How did you get there? Were you appointed president? Were you elected? Did you start the club? What's the story?
I guess I'm like restarting it because when I first because somebody that I actually met last semester really encouraged me to start a club. Actually, the president of Drama Club really encouraged me to start this club, and we talked about it and had all these ideas, and really saw the vision for what we could be. So I guess like I'm restarting it. I actually met the previous president who tried to start it before the pandemic hit, but they, like a lot of clubs at ECC before and after the pandemic just kind of dwindled out. So I really wanted to just start this club because I got so much encouragement and I had a lot of ideas.
Awesome. Yeah, the three of your clubs, specifically SGA, PTK, and LGBTQ, they're all I call this episode Women with Power because it's kind of like has a couple different meanings, but these clubs specifically have a lot of power over the student body. I'll explain to you what I mean because it means something different for each club. SGA, literally the power. You're the legislative and governing body of the students. All the big problems that students have, they come to talk to you. You take care of it. You are the legislators of the campus. PTK, the highest academic institution of a club that we have at Essex, very, very empowering to women, very powerful because you're offering a giant platform for students to receive scholarships, to increase their academic worldview, essentially. And you open up a lot of different opportunities for our students that the rest of us couldn't do. Even people that work here can't do. PTK it's a chapter of a, I was going to say global, but definitely a nationwide system of chapters of Phi Theta Kappa. So you're offering students a window to the world, and PTK is really, really important. That's why the club always has members, always has elections, and is always doing stuff on campus because PTK is too important to ever go anywhere. And you guys really care about legacy. And like you just told us, you just replaced Monica-Boateng, who was the last president of PTK. And there's never a lull in PTK's administration. The plan is always set. So as far as someone who works at the college, I appreciate your club so much because I would never have to instruct you all to do or say anything. You know when deadlines are, you just like you are with your coursework, you are with the institution. So thank you. Now, LGBTQ club is very powerful and important for a different reason. You don't actually have any power over anybody. You're not providing anybody with scholarships, but you are giving a specific community, a specific population, a voice, a place to feel safe, a place to talk with other like-minded individuals, a place to collaborate. It's really, really important for the development of students on campus that, you know, are part of the LGBTQ community, to have that space, to have that support system of people who are ready to go, who are ready to, you know, fight for them, whatever the case may be, and ready to just talk when you need a shoulder to lean on, you know. And it's really, really important. Every college has, you know, a GSA, Gay Straight Alliance, or, you know, some form of an LGBTQ plus club. And Chi revived our LGBTQ club brilliantly, and she does great work, word of mouth, getting that information out there to students, because it's not sometimes a population that wants to come out and say, hey, yes, I want to join this club. Oh my God, here's my email, here's my picture, here's all that good stuff. Sometimes it's a little more private than that, and you provide that perfect space for them to come and reach out to you. You're a very personable person, and people feel comfortable with you. So thank you for being here at Essex. Thank you for doing the club. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you to all
It's a
three of you,
pleasure.
obviously. But seriously, thank you for the awesome work that you do for our students. They definitely appreciate it. I would like to start with some easy questions, right? Let's shake the lead out and everything. So I'm just going to give you some easy one-word questions. Yolanda, favorite color?
Red.
Red. It's a dangerous color, Yolanda. Angela, favorite color?
Black.
Black. Me too, Yolanda. Me too, Angela. Excuse me. Chi, favorite color?
I would say purple.
Purple. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yolanda, favorite female musical artist? You could put her albums on anytime.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Okay. What's your favorite Beyonce song?
Oh my goodness, that is very hard, but I would probably have to say Listen from Dreamgirls.
Okay,
It's
cool.
probably not one of her most popular songs, but I love it because it's very motivational and she's talking about making her voice heard. So that would definitely have to be my favorite song
All
by her
right.
is Listen.
Yolanda gave us a deep cut from Beyonce. That's cool, because you gave me a really popular person. I was like, real fair. And then you gave us a deep cut. Cool. Angela, tell us about your favorite female musical artist.
My favorite female musical artist will, I think, forever be Whitney Houston. Yeah, I went to a school. Well, I went to Beyond Warwick down in East Orange. That's her godmother, and I love the school. And her songs actually keep me through. Like, she has songs in every genre, which I like. Like, you know, she has all kind of songs from. Yeah.
And it's funny you bring that up about her and her family being from around here, because I didn't realize that. And I had a couple students a couple of years ago at West Essex who had gone to that same school as you. And when Whitney passed, or someone close to her passed, it rocked the community, and they all banded together and all go to the funeral and the wake and everything. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Chi, favorite female musical artist?
I'm really glad that I had the most time to think about this, because I would have been all over the place. I'm still tied between like Lauryn Hill, because I love her music, I love the soul, I love her voice, and I feel like she's just such a powerful artist. But one from more so like that's really popular right now in creating right now is like SZA. I love SZA's music too.
SZA, I'm unfamiliar. Is it rap or something else?
It's more so like she does like alternative R&B type of music.
Okay.
And yeah, and she's very popular with more so like Gen Z people.
That's why I don't know.
But I really love her music. You should check her out.
Now, when you say alternative R&B, I think of because I'm old, I think of En Vogue because they weren't a typical R&B group. They're also a female fronted group, and they're also crazy and did awesome stuff. So is that what SZA is like, or?
I wouldn't say like that. Definitely, like I would say like alternative R&B and like neo soul type mix, and like just a lot of different plays on genres that we're more familiar with.
Okay.
To like create something completely new, and I love that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, new genres are good. We like opening doors and we like sharing. Like I always encourage clubs to collaborate. The more you do collaborate, the more unorthodox, awesome things that you will come up with, and the events that you have no one will have ever heard of those before. So yeah, unorthodox
Absolutely.
collaboration. We love it at Essex. Okay. Miss Brown, this question's a little bit deeper, and the other two club ladies are going to be glad to have a little more time to think about this one. So I'm sorry
I
that
have
you got
2
to go.
seconds.
Yeah. So, Yolanda, I need you to tell me about the most influential woman in your life that drives you to take that next step when you need to, that maybe you've been frightened from something before and you look to inspiration from this person. The person doesn't have to be someone in your family or someone that you even really know, but everybody has a different answer for this, and I am definitely interested to know who is a woman that you can think upon in your brain whenever you need comforting or even coaxing to do something. You say, would this person do it? Would this person want me to do it? Like, who is that for you?
Well, pretty easy that would be. It would have to be my mom. I mean, I know that's probably the typical answer that most people would give, but for me, it'll be definitely her. She raised my father. Actually, passed when I was 2 years old. He had like a very bad asthma attack. So at that time, she was, I believe, 24, 25. She had 4 kids. She was in a whole nother state by herself. She was able to move back to from her home state with 4 kids. She was able to get a job to raise us 4 kids by herself. She was able to provide for us. We never wanted for anything. We always, had everything that we needed. 7 years ago, she got diagnosed with cancer. It was a very scary time, but even in the midst of all of that, she still was more concerned about her family's well-being than her own well-being, and was very supportive to all of us during that time. So even just when I have to make a decision, whether it's about a job, school, my kids, or anything, I always ask myself, what my mom do? I usually call her to get her advice. If I'm upset about something, she's usually the only person that can get me to calm down and like maybe see it from the other person's side of why, especially if I'm wrong, she can make me see why I'm wrong without, me getting mad and angry at her. So it would definitely be my mom. And I always imagine like, I hope nothing ever happens to her, because I always tell myself, what would I do when my mother is no longer around? But she's always telling me to make sure I have to prepare myself that one day she possibly could be gone. And then what will I do? So it's definitely my mom. That's easy.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Miss Angela, who would you say is that person for you? Who's that supreme female influential figure in your life that you can go to talk to about anything, or look for inspiration to get motivated to do the things that you need to do?
Right. So I was gonna say my mom at first, and then I realized, you know what, my mom I can have a basic argument with my mom, and sometimes I win, but she'd not admit it. But I love my mom, but it's my godmother, actually. She's my aunt on my paternal side of the family. She's that one person who would constantly, check and make sure I'm on the right path. And even as much as the right path to her is her right path, from the 1980s. And even as much as most often I get not yelled at, I get corrected a lot, I still appreciate that, She's constantly urging, on me, making sure I'm on the right path. Like, you're supposed to have fun, Angela, but not that much, You have to have a plan. You have to know where you have to, as much as most of the time we don't know where our life is going in general, you should at least have some sort of plan that you're following, and yeah, that's my woman.
Nice. That's another big one. See, a lot of people say mom, but godmothers too, right? Because it's usually our mom's sister. And man,
Yeah.
Aunties are the best because they're not your mom. They're not going to scold. They will scold you, but not like your mom will. And they might give you a little
Right.
bit different advancer when you're looking for advice too. Usually the opposite of what your mom will say too. So
Yeah.
True.
yeah, God, thank the Lord for godmothers. Mine was great too. Love them.
Yeah.
Chi, most influential woman in your life. It could be your mother, your godmother. It could be a music artist. It could be anybody to you. But let us know.
Once again, I am glad that I had so much time. But definitely like at first I was thinking my mom, and then, that made me realize how many more like super influential and inspiring women are in my family that I've met, like in like teachers who've inspired me and made me really eager to learn and really form the kind of learner and the kind of person that I am today. But I would say like over anything, my cousins. Like I feel like I have a lot of older cousins that are way closer in age to me than my parents. So like when we talk, we can relate to each other a lot of the time. And they definitely have that insight of like a more experienced person. And definitely it feels more comfortable to share things that I would tell my cousin, I'm not gonna tell my parents, and definitely having that like relationship has really really affected me in the most positive way and made me feel so motivated in everything I do. So yeah.
All right. Very cool. Excellent. Ladies, thank you for sharing your most influential female figures with us. I know that can sometimes be a sensitive and, emotional type thing, especially for me. So I appreciate you guys sharing that with me. My mom and grandmother and my godmother were all awesome, but I got to go with my wife on that one. She kicks my butt when it needs to be kicked, helps me, give me that motivation and inspiration to do what I got to do. So I'm constantly thankful for my wife. So if you ever watch this, I shouted you out finally. Vanessa. Okay, so we are going to flip up the order a little bit to give Miss Brown a break from having to go first. So Chi, you going first this time? You are still lucky. Angela's got the best spot in the house because she's second.
Right.
No matter what. All right. This one's about Essex. It's about our clubs. Chi, I've been working here for like 14 years. I've never seen a club scene like ours is today. Never seen it. I talked to my coworkers. I talked to Mr. Crawford. I talked to Mr. Graham. Talked to some old heads who worked here a long time. Nobody's seen it like this. They've seen it pretty crazy, but we got like 22 clubs right now. I think there was like 15 bake sale fundraisers this month, just this month. The clubs are out of control. Tell me, what's the top reason that people are all scrambling to be in a club? And because the club fair was out of control this year, like Taekwondo Club got 50 new members in one day. So I'm wondering, what is your thought? I've been asking people this in the hallway as we go along, but why are people flipping out right now to be in clubs and to be active? Tell me.
It's because in my opinion, after this whole like the quarantine being at its worst and people really like, valuing the time that they get to meet other people and be around their community or whatever else and just bond with other people. Like, I feel like a lot of people are missing that because that's initially why I joined drama club, and I met everybody that pushed me to start a club of my own. And I'm meeting so many new people from that. Like last Friday, I went to the gaming club event, and I even talked to Yolanda and her VP, and having good conversations. And like I think that's definitely the best way for students to try to get back into civilization and socializing and coming up with new ideas and trying new things and having new conversations. And I think definitely people were missing that.
Very true. Yeah. And we're like student life and just the college in general. I can speak for student life. It was pretty like dark and dreary during COVID around here. So we're like amped and ready to go to help all clubs kind of do stuff. And, you know, when we can look past some of the give us a month's notice and stuff we do, you know, we're trying because it's just such energy is coming out of the students and we kind of feed off that. So I don't care about breaking the rules when clubs want to do stuff. Angela, PTK, what do you think is the main reason? And it's okay if everybody's answers overlap, you know, everybody's got a different version of it, but what, you know, why is the club scene out of control? Why are people running back to Essex right now to see people?
Okay, so generally, if I'm talking PTK specifically only for start, PTK right now, we're now, you know, back on campus and we're not getting in. And as soon as you tell somebody the required GPA is 3.6 or above, they freak out and or not be involved. But generally, I became more, well, unfortunately, when I became a PTK member, it was in that semester that we moved online. So then definitely was so eager to be part of our sessions, both because it was only online and they had a lot of useful things going on. But then I feel like the world is at a place right now where we as a whole are trying to really, we've understood the meaning of communication, physical communication, connections, you know, and even with the freedom of actually having to take off a mask in some places right now is a win for us. And I think that's being realized more after the pandemic, because I know people who wouldn't have minded actually stopping by a club or whatever. They never cared about those stuff. Their goal was to just come to school, take their classes and just go. However, these same people this semester, I've seen them at club fairs, you know, actually volunteering and helping these club fairs goes on. So I feel like the pandemic actually has a big effect on how we're more into clubs right now. We've learned the importance of physical human connections.
Now, is PTK meeting in person or are you guys meeting on Zoom?
Yes, we are meeting. Our first meeting was in person, but our next meeting on Tuesday, our first meeting was online on Zoom. Okay. However, the next one, henceforth, it was only on Zoom because I thought of the transitioning process. Like, you know, we're now back on campus and it's always been online. And I know people who are mostly taking online classes. So I wanted it to be fair enough that, okay, the first meeting is online, but henceforth, it's all in person.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Awesome. Ms. Brown, why are people running back here? Why are the clubs off the chain? And
Okay.
how is your membership? I want to say post COVID. I know COVID is still happening.
I'll have to piggyback off of what Angela said about when people hear the requirements. I know with SGA, to be an executive board member, you have to have 3.0, you have to write an essay, you have to get a letter of recommendation. So I would say for SGA, I wish our membership was as strong as some of the other clubs, but I feel like the requirements, because we're not your typical club. So I understand that why we do have to have certain requirements that other clubs don't. So I wish our membership was a little more like the other clubs. They say for the gaming club, oh my gosh, they have so many members, but it's an awesome club. And I understand why they have so many members, why the Taekwondo club has so many members, the cheerleaders, the step team. And I think people just really want to be a part of something. We were in the house for so long, you know, quarantine, can't have that physical contact. And now, you know, the masks are off. We're able to move around more freely. Like I said, the club fair was like out of control. Like the cheerleaders were dancing, Taekwondo doing demonstrations. I think people just want to have that connection, like, and that connection again. And I hope that it'll eventually trickle down to SGA, because I heard at one time SGA was very big on campus and had a lot of members. And I would definitely like to see that again. But I think people just want that connection.
Yeah,
A sense
definitely.
of belonging.
A sense of belonging for sure, you know, because the past, 2 years, we thought we knew where we belonged, and then all of a sudden we belonged at home. So.
Right. Because like Chima said, the event we did Friday with the gaming club, I think we had maybe for the course of 2 hours, we had, I think, almost 55, 60 students that were in and out.
That's awesome.
awesome. So if you ever want to do it, the gaming club is a great club to collaborate with because you'll get a large number of people to come out.
Nice. They let me
I'm
be
gonna
the
keep that in mind.
they let me be the advisor for 2 clubs. So, gaming is number 1 because I love gaming, but SGA, those are my only 2 that I can do. That's enough. That's enough right there.
Because SGA is a lot.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to continue in this direction. Get Chi up next. You have no idea what question I'm going to ask you.
Dang.
Want to know the truth? Neither do I. So it's going to be completely improv.
Improv. I love it.
Okay. Chi, where did you go? What town did you go to high school in?
I went to West Orange High.
West Orange High. Was there a version of your club? Because there's high school clubs, obviously. Was there a version of your club at your high school?
Yes. We had a GSA.
How is it different from what you're doing now? Is it any different or?
Funny thing is, I was not a member of the GSA because, I was like many of my members, I was nervous to go into a club like that.
Sure.
On campus. And I did have friends who went, and I did know I actually grew up with the president of the club. And we had all been going to school together since like middle school or so. But I did not attend the club at my school. I was in a different club.
Okay. What club?
It was called Unity Club, and we talked about social issues. We would talk about queer issues a lot of the time, as well as race issues, as well as just things to get students to think a bit differently. We would talk about literally anything that we could relate back to our school community.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to get a little history of you all and your clubs and to see if you had done this prior in high school. Like Angela, in high school, what town did you go to high school in?
Orange Eye.
Orange High, okay.
Yeah.
Was there any type of honor society in high school when it had like membership or you had to pay or anything like that? Or like if it did, how does it differ from PTK at college?
So I don't physically recall, this was back in 2012. I don't physically recall there being a team, a club for honor society, but I remember AP classes. That's how the honor students got to know ourselves. So we would occasionally have a toast to after SATs or the pre-HESAs or something, but it wasn't a club. It was more of a student body doing their own thing.
Okay, so nothing super official. Like PTK is super official. You guys have
Right,
awards.
yeah.
And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what drove you to PTK once you came here? So you didn't have honor society in high school. You come to Essex. How did you hear about PTK or what made you go, I got to get on that right now?
Right. So it was in person. I had seen the plaques and the certificates when you enter the school, but I had never actually asked about what it was. So after I met the requirements, which was completing 12 college credits, after my second semester, I got an invitation from the PTK. So that's how I got to know about it. And then I I responded to the invitation. And then I contacted Professor Wilson, and then I started becoming an active member.
When you saw the membership fee for PTK, did that worry you at all, or were you saying to yourself, no, this is important, I'm going to pay it, this is totally worth it?
So it worried me a bit because you know how there are a lot of scam stuff going on lately. So I was like, if I qualify for the honor society, why must I pay to be part of the club? Why?
Yeah.
It should be free because you're giving me scholarships, right? So how about I just dive right in? Why didn't I earn it? Right. So then after I contacted Professor Wilson, that's when I got more info about it, because it's significant. Being an honor student, I kind of know that, it's important to be part of these ones. And then the scholarships definitely drew me in. seeing scholarship boldly on the website. I'm like, okay, $80 and for 20K, I'll take that. So yeah, it was more like it did shake me a bit, but definitely worth it now. And then let me not forget, that was for PTK in general. I hadn't even started to know about my chapter here at ECC.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so who was so you said Professor Wilson was the first person that you approached or met from PTK?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that $80 was totally worth it then, right?
Definitely worth it. We just came from a conference and fun. I'm having it. I mean, it just puts a little pressure on you to, constantly be on these classes to not drop your GPA, but it's worth it. It keeps me on track. More like my godmother.
Nice.
In the PTK form.
Wow. I love it. The reason I'm stressing the importance of that is because I get a lot of folks that say, oh, we have an honor society here, but you have to pay like $80 to get into it. I always tell them, ask them what the $80 gets you before you make your judgment. Please go to a PTK meeting, talk to somebody. If you have the grades, if you get the invite, you're 99.999% of the time, you're going to pay that fee. It's worth it. Do it. So if you got the grades, do PTK. Me and Mr. Graham and I should say, we recently did the graduating student scholarship workshop, and going through the list of scholarships, there is a Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. And unlike all the other scholarships, it only has one requirement, and that is must be a member of PTK.
Yeah, member, yeah. Yeah.
So I said, anybody that's in PTK, apply for the scholarship or you're a fool.
Yes. Yeah.
Love PTK.
No, definitely. And then they send you a pen and a certificate, and you get a stamp on your transcript when you're graduating. You can put it on your resume, and being part of the honor society has never gone wrong for anyone. I don't think so.
Right.
So
awesome.
It's definitely an honor.
I don't think I've ever heard a horror story. I joined the honor society, and then you're never going to believe what happened. I lost all my books. I failed my classes. Nobody could tutor me. That's not the case. That is never the case. Not going to happen.
No.
Miss Brown, where did you go to high school, Miss Brown? I don't know much about you.
I definitely didn't go to high school in New Jersey.
Okay.
Pretty sure you can tell from my accent, I'm from down south. And at this, I'm from Arkansas. And at my high school, we did have a student government. I think they called it student government. It was just student government. And I was not a member. My best friend, I believe she was vice president. But in high school, I had no interest in doing anything like SGA.
And
none at all.
That's interesting. So when you came to Essex, how did you hear about SGA? Was it a Mr. Graham email? What was it?
Yeah, so it was, 2020. I always say COVID did for me was made me go back to school. We were off work. I was at home doing remote with my kids, and I kept on getting the emails from Essex and the flyers in the mail. And I was like, okay, let me go back to school because I'm sitting at home with kids remote. So I enrolled, and then in the spring semester, got the email from Mr. Graham. I was like, interesting. Let's see what this is about. So I joined the Zoom. It was you were there, Jessica, Nick, Kadeja, Sarah, and I thought about it before. I was like, oh, I don't think so. That I talked to Mr. Graham. He was like, yeah, you just should maybe try and see. It could be interesting. He kind of persuaded me to go ahead and actually do it. And so I did it. I ran for Senator of Community Relations. That's the position that I ran and got in office for. But I'm glad I did it. I love SGA. I've met some awesome people since I've started this, like Nick, Sarah, Jessica, Paula, Jennifer, Mr. Graham, Dean Kirkland, Dean Slate. I'm grateful for the opportunity of doing SGA. I will say it is a lot of work. So when we had to transition into me becoming president, I was a little nervous. How would it go? Would I be able to step up to it while going to school, while working? But I think I'm doing good so far.
I think so too.
So.
Yeah, no, you're doing a fine job. Definitely. Okay, so that's cool. You had no interest in student government in high school. You didn't know it was going to happen in college, and then just a Mr. Graham email is all it takes. I love it.
That was it.
Okay. He needs to know the power of those emails. I always tell him, man. I'm like, yo, send the email, please, dude, please.
That was it.
Chi, you ready for this next improv question?
Oh, I think I
You're
am.
ready? Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, I forgot I was going first again.
This question will apply to all of you, and we kind of model it around each club. So just imagine that. Chi, LGBTQ plus club. There may be students watching now or that will watch this video on YouTube and want to join the LGBTQ club, but maybe they're hesitant for XYZ reason, whatever the case may be. You have the floor right now to speak to that student who is watching you and saying, wow, these women are really cool. These women are like, empowering me to want to do something, but I don't know if I want to pull a trigger and go ahead and send that email. I don't know if I want to join the club. I don't know if I want to have to be somewhere every week and go to a meeting place. Like, is it worth it for me? What are they going to do for me? So to those kids who are hesitant about joining your club, what do you have to say to them?
Well, basically, what I have to say is that when I started this club, it was because I saw that there was a lack of vibrancy with the community. There's a lack of coming together. There's a lack of people connecting. And I feel like, because I do get contacted a lot by people who are scared to come in, which I definitely understand why people are apprehensive because, the state of our world today, not everybody in the world is ready for things that they don't understand or maybe that they can't relate to, like some parts of the queer community. But definitely here it's a space that everybody is respectful of each other. Everybody wants to keep each other safe and everybody wants to hear each other. And I think no matter who you are, no matter where you are in your transition, no matter what your gender identity is or your sexual orientation, you're definitely welcome. And if people can't relate to your story because, our community is not monolithic, then definitely people are going to give you the floor to talk about yourself and let people know who you are and what your experience has been like. And I think that could be beneficial to anybody, especially if you've been struggling. So yeah, that's what I have to say. And also, thank you, Yolanda. That's definitely, and also, I was just talking with my vice president, and we're going to start trying to have Zoom meetings, more Zoom meetings, probably on Wednesdays or another time of the week. I'm not committing to Wednesdays. So if y'all see this, email me or I'll have flyers out or new flyers out. But definitely for people, not everybody is comfortable enough to come into the room. And I know that can definitely be intimidating. So I'm trying to open up Zoom meetings where we talk about what we're doing, let people ask questions, maybe we do a little movie night, whatever else.
Very cool. That is Miss Ugonma Chima, president of our LGBTQ plus club. Now, Angela, president of our Phi Theta Kappa chapter of Alpha Theta Theta. Did I say it right?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Nice. You are president of the PTK. We already conquered the $80 fee or however much the fee is for PTK. We've thwarted that for anybody who's a non-believer. Then now they know that it's totally worth it.
Definitely.
What I would like for you have the floor for your club. Same situation. There's a student here. Maybe they're just they don't know how to get into PTK. Because your club functions a little bit differently, maybe just explain how PTK works. Imagine there's a student sitting here right now. He's just enrolled into Essex. His GPA coming out of high school was like a 4.0, and his first semester at Essex is nearing the same number. What might happen to that student?
So what might happen to you is that, I mean, I'm doing a thing with my cabinet right now since we're just back in person. Let me start with when we went to our conference, the PTK initially initiates a theme for the year where every college submits a college project, every chapter, and then they choose, you get awards for. We got one for last year for our mural and for a lot of other things. So the theme for this year is play. So I thought about play. If it's play, that means you don't necessarily have to have all these requirements. So here at ECC, I've spoken to my cabinet and we're making it a goal right now to actually assist people to get to that GPA.
Right on.
So we have an office now in the school. I'm putting out an office hours, hopefully by the end of this week, where we can help students build their resumes. You don't necessarily have to get the 3.6 because like I said, life is hard. And it's okay that you don't have a 3.6 GPA. It's okay that you're not there yet. But our goal is to help you get there. And then with that being said, everybody is invited. So it was my goal. It's a plan to actually get our meetings open to the general public of the school and to get more people involved in PTK. Because I know it's always been 2.6 and that, but I feel like that can be our volunteer hours. That can be us giving to our community. And PTK mostly cares about the community. The awards that these other schools and colleges got for actually doing volunteer services and all these other things, and most that I have mentioned was awesome. That actually comes down to PTK not being only book, scholars related. We're open to our communities as well.
Yes, yes, and hell yes. And I'll tell you why. Because not only are you looking out for people within the club, you want to help other people become a part of this club. You're offering tutoring services to our students. The tutoring services that PTK offers students, I'll say this right here, are better than our actual tutoring services at this college. We have those too. So just know that you have multiple options for tutoring at Essex County College. I do advise that you see what PTK has to offer seriously. Thank you, Angela. Awesome. Yolanda, you got the floor.
Woo.
Maybe there's students out there, man, they heard you talking about student government being a lot of work. They heard you talking about it being a big dedication and being a little bit different than the other clubs. So for that student who is interested in politics, is interested in, community legislation and being the voice of their community and all that good stuff, is SGA a hurdle for them, or should they take this hurdle? Should they do it? What do you say? What do you tell them?
I would say yes, take that leap, take that jump. First thing I would say is being a member of SGA, but even a executive board member of SGA looks very good on not only your resume, but on your college transcript if you plan to transfer to a four-year school. That's the first thing. I won't lie and say SGA is not a lot of work, especially for executive board members. I'll make that point. If you're a general member, it's not so much of work that you will have to do. Just maybe come to meetings, help out when we have different events. But if you're the president, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer, or the parliamentarian, then you are going to be required to do more work than just a general member. And if you're the president, as myself, you're going to be required to do a lot of work. I do work outside that the other members don't do, because being the president, you are the face, the voice of SGA. They're going to come to you when when the college needs, they're going to come direct to you first. President. Okay. Then you can delegate, to your other members. But just with SGA, is very rewarding. We get a chance to work with the students. That was my main focus when I did step into the president's role. I talked to the ladies and I was like, I really want us to focus on what our goal was all along, why we all joined, was to give back to the students. We have to do activities that involve the students, get us to mingle with the students, not just talking to them about making sure you're voting, make sure you're registered to vote. Those are good things for them to have, but I wanted us to have a deep connection with the students. That's what we've been doing. We had a fundraiser, we had a student forum, we did the gaming event with the Game and Anime Club. I find myself now talking to different students on campus, just randomly talking to them. What do you need? What can SGA do for you on campus? We made, I wish I had one in front of me, but our secretary, Sarah, she's made some very great business cards for us that we pass out to the students. And it's really become effective. I think more people know more about SGA and what SGA actually is. So if anybody is interested in running for office, I encourage you to run. You will love it. I've made some great connections that I know will last long past when I leave Essex. I'll still be in contact with them. Just for example, Khadijah, she was our senator of grievance. She graduated, but I still talk to her at least once or sometimes twice a week. Mick Mendez, he was our vice president. He moved to Florida, and I still keep in contact with him. So those connections that you can make being on SGA can last a lifetime. So I encourage you to run. We are actually getting ready to have upcoming elections. So check your emails. If you have any questions, you can email me at sga.essex.edu. We would love to have you.
Excellent. Thank you, Yolanda. Students and Essex County College greater community, these are women with power here at Essex County College. These are women who are influencers and trendsetters, even if they don't know it, and even if they don't do it on social media, because that's where everyone thinks all the influencers are. These are real life influencers who have an impact on young men and women around them to help inspire them to do awesome things, joining organizations, tutoring other people, volunteer work, getting their own coursework done, improving themselves, improving their grades. This is all unbelievable stuff. It only happens at colleges. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So enjoy this stuff while you're here. Get this stuff instilled in you at this age. It will last you a lifetime. The things that Yolanda's learned during SGA, the things that Angela's learned while doing PTK, and the things that Chi-Chi's learning, bringing up the LGBTQ club, are all unbelievable, lifelong lessons they're going to learn. All the interactions that they have with people that work here, people that go to school here, people that live and love and learn here. All these interactions, you're collecting them in your head, and you're one up on the game. You're ahead of other students who don't participate like this. So thank you. Thank the three of you, and thank all the women in all of our clubs at Essex who encourage their peers to not just sit around, not just be another person, not just come here and go from point A to point B to point C to point D back to point A. You people all have lives, you have jobs, you have kids or families or whatever the case may be in your life. So obviously Essex isn't always your number one priority, yet you are still here, and you are not only in a club, but you are in an executive position in a club, inspiring, influencing, and teaching others around you. I give it up for all of you. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for doing this here at Essex. Thank you for letting me spotlight you. And I think I know everybody's email without looking anywhere. If you want to join Student Government Association, give SGA at essex.edu a shout out. If you want more information about Phi Theta Kappa, email them at ptkecc@gmail.com. And if you want, this is the hard one, if you want more info or want to join the LGBTQ plus club at Essex, you're going to need to contact Miss Ugonma, Chi-Chi, Chima, and that is at Chima@email.essex.edu. Did I get it? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So these are fantastic women that we have here at Essex County College in our clubs. Yolanda, Angela, Chi-Chi, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
You
This was
got
a
it.
Thank you
nice
guys for
conversation.
joining us.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope that you and your families are doing well, staying well, keeping cool during this time. It's starting to get warm out. Ditch the hoodie. I know I'm about to. Until then, we will catch you next time. Take care.